Today on General Hospital, Rocco makes an apology, Jason comes to Britt and Brad's rescue, and Ava and Nina mend fences. Credit, ABC screenshots brings Brad and Britt into the station for a dining and dashing. Britt claims she left her card at home, and they were going to go back to pay. This has all been a misunderstanding. They are put into the interrogation room and given their one call. Nina meets Ava at the Metro Court and asks why she asked her here. Ava doesn't want what happened with Portia to cost them their friendship, as they've come too far to lose it again. Nina ignores a call from Britt and tells Ava she didn't turn Portia into the cops. And she's done far worse in the name of saving her daughter. She has been thinking it over, and she may not be able to repair her friendship with Portia, but she hopes she hasn't lost Ava. Ava tells Nina she never wants her to feel judged, and she likes having Nina in her corner. Ava hopes Nina knows she's in her corner as well. Nina asks what they'll do about Portia. Ava thinks that bridge isn't completely burned, and it, too, can be fixed. Curtis and Jordan meet, and she asks how he managed to get the charges against him dropped. He explains that new evidence has come to light, and the case against Willow is stronger. He thanks her for her support and knows Trina hasn't made things easy. He says he will make it clear to his daughter that he and Portia will make sure this baby is fully supported by both of them, even if they aren't together. Jordan says this isn't about the baby. It's about the fact that Trina believes he's betrayed her mother with her. She doesn't want to risk his relationship with Trina, and perhaps they should call it quits before this goes any further. Back at the station, Britt can't believe Nina sent her to voicemail, and knows there is one more person she can call. She groans thinking about it. Tracy heads to the stable where she finds Outback has stolen one of her gloves. Cody retrieves it and apologizes for her ruined glove, which he says he'll pay for. The two end up playing a game of backgammon. Cody casually brings up Molly and the fact that he somehow blew things between them once again. Tracy had no idea he was dating Molly and tells him to fix things, as that girl has a head on her shoulders. They finish their game, and because it's starting to snow, he walks Tracy up to the main house. At Alexis' place, Jason, Danny, Molly, and Christina surprise her with a Christmas tree. As she's been too busy with the trial to decorate, she thanks them all and knows Sam would have loved this. Christina and Molly work on putting the lights on the tree, and Christina asks Molly about Cody. Molly hasn't seen him since Thanksgiving. Jason interjects, saying he saw her at the Brown Dog when Britt kissed Cody. He explains that Britt was drunk. Cody pushed her away, and he spent the night watching the door. Christina suggests he was clearly waiting for someone. Jason then gets a call from Britt, who says she's at the PCPD and in trouble. He heads out, leaving Danny with the Davis girls. Christina tries to convince Molly to give Cody a chance, but Molly says it's not like Cody ever said he was interested in her. Danny interrupts to give her a guy's perspective. He says guys never know when a girl is interested in them because they are dumb. So, if she likes Cody, she needs to tell him, as he probably thinks she's too good for him. Molly says guys are dumb, but he's a genius, so she heads out to find Cody. Meanwhile, Alexis is on the phone saying they must find this person and get them on the stand, and to check with nurse Amy Driscoll, as she knows all the gossip and where people are. Back in the station, Jason shows up and finds out about Brad and Britt's dine-and-dash stunt. Jason refuses to bail Brad out and walks out on them. Brad badmouths Jason to Britt, telling her he's obviously not her person and that she can't rely on him. He reminds her that Jason dropped her for Carly and has now abandoned her because she's friends with him. At Isaiah's cabin, Portia reads a text from Trina and worries she could lose her daughter over this baby. Portia tells him that Trina already hates that Curtis is with Jordan, and if this baby is his, she'll see it as her betraying her father all over again. Isaiah tells her that this stress isn't good for her or the baby. She cries that she's already so in love with this child and she wants to be a good mom to it. Isaiah kisses her hand. He says she deserves to feel supported right now, so what can he do for her? She says just being here with her, without judging her, is all she needs. Joe helps Trina get a tree up in her place and admits he'd rather be here than where he has to go. Emma stops by with a gift and thought Joe was going to see Dante and Rocco tonight. He admits he's been dragging his feet, but if Dante can make the effort, then so can he. At Lulu's, she tells Sunny and Laura that Dante is trying to make peace with Joe for Rocco, and she needs their help keeping them from fighting with one another tonight. Dante arrives, and Rocco and Charlotte come downstairs. The kids are excited to trim the tree and get started. Dante tells Lulu he knows everyone here is a buffer between him and Joe, and thanks her for looking out for him. Dante makes small talk with Rocco about his community service when Joe arrives. With cookies from Eckert's, Rocco asks Joe to help him grab some firewood, and they step out. Lulu tells Dante, who is looking out the window, not to play porch patrol. She's one to talk. She notes that Dante can't control them spending time with one another, and hopefully they'll be in each other's lives for a long time. Outside, Rocco thanks Joe for coming. He guesses Joe had better things to do with Emma, but Joe swears he wanted to be here. Back inside, Laura and Sunny whisper to one another about Jens, and that Laura hopes their plan to get him to drop his guard works out. Sunny vows to protect their family. No matter what, not the time nor place to be talking about covering up a murder. Rocco and Joe head back inside, and Rocco then announces he has something important to say. He apologizes to his grandma for jeopardizing her race and thanks her and everyone for their support throughout the Dalton ordeal. Laura hugs him and says he's so welcome. Dante and Joe look at one another, and Joe smiles back at Trina's. Emma confides in her friend that she's worried about Joe and wonders if he needs her support tonight. Trina says she can't go over there empty-handed, and she has just the thing. Emma meets up with Joe outside Lulu's. She brought mistletoe and wanted him to know he doesn't have to do this alone. He holds it up, and they kiss. Inside, Laura talks with Charlotte about her dad, and the girl says he's good at taking care of himself and is probably fine. Laura knows her dad loves her, and wherever he is, he'd be happy to know she's with family tonight. They embrace. Dante tells Rocco that the apology he gave was nice, and he's proud of him. Dante holds out his hand, and they shake. As they watch, Lulu tells her mom it's a Christmas miracle. At the station, Britt and Brad fear they will be spending the night in jail. Chase walks in, takes a Polaroid of them both, and says they are free to go. These photos will be hung at the cafe, which they can't ever go back to. He tells them that Jason paid their dine and dash bill with a 40% tip. Jason returns to Alexis, saying what he had to tend to turned out not to be that important, and tells her how he's not going to miss time out on any time with Danny like he did with Monica. Christina and Danny come downstairs with the star to put it on the tree. Alexis gets a call. The person has located Portia, so she asks them to have them delivered as soon as possible. At her place alone, Trina decorates her tree. She then admires her work and snuggles up on her couch. At the Metro Court, Curtis tells Jordan that he's not throwing away what they have, and Trina will come around. He says change is never easy, but he's not giving her up again. They kiss. At his cabin, Isaiah admits he hopes this baby is his. Portia hopes he's the father too. They kiss. There is a knock at the door, and Isaiah answers it. It's a server who gives Portia legal documents. She opens the envelope, and she's being called to testify in Willow's trial tomorrow. Finally, Molly turns up at the stables to find Cody, but only Outback is there. She tells her Merry Christmas. When she turns around, Cody is standing in the door. He asks why she's here. She was looking for him, and launches into him, pulling him into a kiss. He's stunned, and she thinks she misread the situation. He tells her that she didn't, and he kisses her back.